Welcome to a new story in what we call amazing stories.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Amazing stories.
it's good, right?
Yeah.
So, today you shared this incredible material about Martin Echegaray Davies.
Right.
He was a 60-year-old from Ushuaia, Argentina.
Wow.
And in October 2017, he decided he was going to walk all the way to Alaska.
What?
Yeah. So we have all these articles detailing why he did it, the distances he covered, the crazy things he had to go through, and also, unfortunately, how it kind of came to an end.
Okay.
But today our goal is to really kind of unpack this story and see what we can learn from this incredible undertaking.
I'm ready.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you're enjoying the content, please leave a like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit that button.
Also, if there's a specific topic you'd like us to talk about, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
Thank you, and let's keep going. So let's start with maybe the biggest question. Why would somebody even want to do something like this?
Right.
I mean, it's insane.
Absolutely.
So your sources point to Martin wanting to kind of create a legacy,
Uh-huh.
much like his Welsh ancestors who settled in Patagonia.
That's right. Yeah.
He had done some shorter walks in the past,
Okay.
but this was his transcendental walk,
Right.
a very personal ambition to see how far he could push himself,
I see.
physically, but also in a much broader sense.
Yeah.
He said, porque puedo, porque quiero. Porque no quiero morirme sin saber hasta dónde llego.
Beautiful.
What do you think is at the core of that drive to even start something like this?
Well, that statement really does capture so many basic human desires. It's not just about the physical challenge or, even reaching that specific destination.
Yeah.
This is about self-discovery, pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible. That inherent curiosity to explore your own limits that we talk about sometimes with the learner persona.
Right.
It seems like a really powerful driving force here, this real thirst for experience and rejecting this idea of just living a life without really fully testing your potential.
Absolutely. And this wasn't some fancy sponsored expedition with a team and all the gear.
Right.
We learned that he was actually a jagolero.
A what?
A jagolero. He makes wells and fences.
Okay.
From Trello.
Okay.
Just a regular guy.
Gotcha.
A 60-year-old guy setting off with this unbelievable homemade cart.
I love that.
Your sources mentioned no sponsors, no support team, nothing.
Wow.
It was just him and his Caricatra Pilchero.
Is what?
Caricatra Pilchero,
Okay.
which he built from iron, hoping it would be his constant companion.
Wow.
This cart weighed initially 140 kilos.
That's heavy.
I know, right? And it carried everything.
Oh.
Clothes, food, water, a sleeping mat, tent tools. He even had Argentine and Welsh flags.
Oh, wow.
This really potent symbol of both his heritage and where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
This image of him starting out with this weighty self-built contraption, it speaks volumes about just how personally invested he was in this from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts?
It just really emphasizes that self-reliance that's at the heart of this journey.
Yeah.
The fact that he built this cart himself wasn't just, out of necessity.
Right.
It was like a real physical manifestation of his commitment to this.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was given to him. He created the means to actually make this journey.
Right.
And you think about just the amount of work that must have gone into building that thing even before he took a single step.
Right.
It really shows his determination.
Absolutely. And he started as far south as you can really get in South America, Bahia La Pataya in Tierra del Fuego.
Wow.
So he's basically at the bottom of South America deciding to walk to Alaska.
That's wild.
It's mind-blowing when you think about the scale of what he set out to do.
I mean, that's incredible. So starting from that extreme southern point, I think it's really significant. It's like he's throwing himself into the deep end right away.
Right.
And it sets the stage for this immense journey he's about to take. There's no easing into this. It's full immersion in this rugged landscape from day one.
Totally.
And the geography just amplifies how huge this decision was and the physical demands he's inevitably going to face.
And the sources paint a pretty stark picture of those first few days. Cold, silent, and constantly battling the weight of that cart.
Yeah, bet.
Then only 400 kilometers and a poorly done weld on his cart breaks.
Oh, no.
Right. I mean, for a lot of people, that would have been it,
Totally.
Pack it up, go home. But not for Martin.
No.
He stops on the side of the road in the rain, hands covered in grease, and he fixes it.
Wow.
With a wrench and some wire.
That's amazing.
And this was just the first of 27 such repairs.
Get out of here.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
So this early challenge, I think, really highlights his resilience and resourcefulness.
For sure.
I mean, 27 repairs on a cart you built yourself over that kind of distance, that's not just about fixing metal. It's about being absolutely committed to this journey no matter what.
Absolutely. That early breakdown and how he reacted really sets the tone for the whole thing. It wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be this constant, negotiation with the world around him, the limitations of what he had built.
Yeah.
And each of those 27 repairs represents a moment where he could have just given up, but he didn't. He found a way to keep going.
Totally. It's incredible.
It really speaks to his mental toughness.
As he went through Argentina, he made a point of going through every provincial capital. It wasn't about the route necessarily.
Oh.
He wanted to connect with his homeland.
I see.
And as he went along, people would offer him food, shelter, encouragement, and they'd always ask why.
Yeah.
And his answer really shows us his core motivation for doing this.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about getting to Alaska. It was about the experience, the connections he made with people.
Right.
It makes you think, right?
Yeah, that choice to visit all the capitals, it shows a deeper purpose.
Yeah.
It suggests a desire to experience his own country to the fullest.
Yeah.
And to connect with people. And those moments of connection, those acts of kindness from strangers probably provided him with the strength to keep going through all the hardships.
For sure. And as he moved north, the physical toll started to become pretty serious.
Right.
In Tucumán, he got this nasty infected blister on his foot,
Ooh.
causing him constant pain. But he just kept walking using this makeshift bandage. It's interesting. He thought 4 pairs of shoes would be enough.
Yeah.
But he ended up going through 18 pairs in total.
What?
Some were gifts, some he found along the way.
That's wild.
18 pairs of shoes, worn out by sheer will and distance.
That really puts it into perspective.
It does, right?
Yeah, that detail about the shoes is like a physical measurement of how far he went.
Yeah.
It's not just some abstract number of kilometers. It's the worn out soles of 18 pairs of shoes.
That's right. And that infected blister, it just shows how much his body was going through.
Yeah.
And how he chose to just push through the pain to achieve this goal.
Wow.
Crossing into Bolivia brought a whole new set of challenges.
Oh, yeah?
The thin air and steep roads of the Altiplano.
Okay.
At like 3,500 meters above sea level.
Yeah.
Even a seasoned Patagonia hiker like Martin struggled.
I bet.
Sometimes he could only drag his cart 5 meters at a time before having to rest.
Wow.
It's amazing how the body adapts, right?
It is, and this transition to the Altiplano just shows the variety of geographical obstacles he had to overcome.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about walking on flat ground.
Right.
He had to deal with different climates, altitudes, each one with its own unique challenges. And the image of him dragging that heavy cart just a few meters at a time really highlights the incredible resilience he needed to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And Peru had its own trials.
I bet it did.
He had to deal with a storm, and in Ayacucho, a huge gust of wind actually flipped his cart over, breaking the axle.
Oh, no.
So he's alone hungry, and it took him 3 days to fix it with whatever he could find. Nails wood. He actually let himself cry for a bit, but then immediately said, Si lloro que sea en silencio, yo elegí esto. If I cry, let it be in silence. I chose this.
Wow.
His inner strength really shines in moments like that.
That moment in Peru is so powerful. It's like all this hardship, the isolation, and yet this unbreakable commitment.
Yeah.
The tears, they show how hard it was.
Right.
But his immediate resolve to find a solution to literally put his cart back together with scraps shows how strong he was mentally and his refusal to give up no matter what.
Absolutely. Moving into the jungles of Colombia brought a different kind of danger.
Oh.
Human danger.
Right.
So alongside the difficult terrain,
Yeah.
one story recounts a time when he encountered a group of young men who started searching his cart.
Ooh.
But thankfully, an older member of the group told them to leave him alone, saying, Déjenlo, este viejo no tiene miedo, y los que no tienen miedo no tienen precio. Leave him. This old man is not afraid. And those who are not afraid have no price. It's a glimpse into the human interactions he had and a reminder that the obstacles weren't just physical.
That's a good point. That encounter in Colombia reminds us how vulnerable he was.
Right.
And how unpredictable people can be.
Yeah.
It shows the potential dangers, but also the surprising moments of respect and understanding.
For sure.
And what that older man said is interesting. It's like Martin's lack of fear was a kind of protection in a way.
Yeah. Then came the Darien Gap in Panama, this dense jungle that's basically impassable.
Yeah,
And he had to make a tough decision to take a boat.
I see.
Your sources say he felt like he was breaking his commitment to walk the entire way,
Yeah.
but he reframed it saying, El continente no se camina por terquedad, sino por propósito. The continent is not walked out of stubbornness, but out of purpose.
Wow.
So he adapted, right?
Right.
He chose practicality over this rigid idea of walking every step.
That's a really crucial moment because it shows he was willing to adapt when faced with something he just couldn't overcome physically.
Right.
His reevaluation of his principles, prioritizing the bigger picture over this one specific rule, really shows his mindset.
Yeah.
It shows he was driven by the spirit of the journey, not just the act of walking.
As he continued north through Central America, he experienced both incredible kindness,
Okay.
like a Nicaraguan boy giving him a cookie and words of encouragement,
Oh.
and the growing anticipation of getting closer to his goal.
Right.
Those little acts of kindness probably kept him going.
They must have. In such a lonely and difficult journey, those little moments of human connection can be incredibly powerful.
Right.
They remind you of our shared humanity. That can really help keep you going.
Absolutely. Mexico marked the end of Latin America,
Okay.
and he started getting a lot of attention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he became kind of a local hero in a lot of places, with people welcoming him and applauding him.
That's cool.
But it was also one of the toughest parts of his journey.
Really?
Yeah, especially crossing the Sonoran Desert in that intense heat. At one point, his cart actually got stuck in the sand, and a family had to help him get it out.
It's amazing how there's this contrast between being celebrated
Yeah.
and then facing these really difficult physical challenges.
Yeah, it's true. So he crosses the Rio Grande into the United States.
Wow.
By this point, his body really shows what he's been through.
Yeah.
Blistered feet, sunburned skin, a long white beard.
Yeah.
He basically looked like the miles he had walked.
It's true. When he reached the U.S., his appearance really told the story of his journey.
Yeah.
Those details, the blisters, the sunburn, the beard, they paint this picture of just incredible endurance.
Totally. And he was surprised by the vastness of the U.S. and also the orderliness. But time was running out.
Ooh.
In Fargo, North Dakota, in March 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic hits and everything changes.
Oh, no.
The border with Canada, his final obstacle to Alaska, closes.
Wow.
I mean, after coming so far, it's just heartbreaking.
That the pandemic happened right at that point is just wild.
I know.
To be so close and then stopped by something completely out of your control,
Right.
it must have been so frustrating.
He waited for 8 months in this small dwelling, with his cart parked outside, hoping the borders would reopen, hoping for a miracle.
Yeah.
But it never came.
That waiting must have been so hard.
So hard, right.
To be so close and not be able to do anything.
Yeah. And that really shows his perseverance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He didn't give up. He held on to that hope for so long.
He did. And eventually he made the tough decision to go back to Argentina.
Yeah.
He may not have reached Alaska, but he reached something else. The hearts of so many people and a deep understanding of what he was capable of.
Right.
The numbers alone are amazing. 22,850 kilometers, 15 countries, 887 days, 18 pairs of shoes, his cart repaired 27 times.
It's just incredible.
They really show his dedication.
Yeah, those statistics are like concrete proof of what he achieved.
Right.
Even though he didn't reach Alaska, the numbers tell the story of his endurance, his perseverance.
Absolutely. He went home with such a sense of accomplishment.
And when people asked him why he did it, he said, Porque hay cosas que uno hace no para llegar, sino para no quedarse. Because there are things one does not to arrive, but to not stay still.
Powerful.
What does Martin's story mean for you?
It's a reminder that we're capable of so much more than we think.
Yeah.
That it's important to pursue our dreams and to embrace the journey, even when things don't go as planned.
His deep dive wasn't just about the physical journey. It was a testament to the power of the human spirit.
Absolutely.
The sources really capture the richness of his experiences.
Think about it. Martin's journey was about so much more than just reaching Alaska. It was about the people he met, the challenges he overcame, pushing his own limits.
Yeah.
His story makes us think about our own caricatres pilcheros, those things that drive us, the challenges we face, the lessons we learn.
And what about you listening right now? What's your journey?
Right? What challenges are you facing and what are you learning along the way?
And remember what Martin said. Porque hay cosas que uno hace no para llegar, sino para no quedarse. What are you doing not to reach a destination, but just to keep moving.
That idea of movement, of not staying still, that's a powerful message from Martin's incredible story.
It really is.